gentlemen.
Uh-oh.
It's time for the Early Bird Special. Bringing you the best stories from the world of sports and sports entertainment. Now, here are your hosts, Sparky and Burdick.
What's built better right now? WWE's the main event with Goldberg in Atlanta, or AEW's All In Texas?
I'd have to say the lawsuit pending against AEW is built way better than both of those situations in comparison.
Really?
Chris? Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. If you guys want to look that up, go ahead, look that up. AEW does not comment on pending legal situations.
One of these days, I'm going to get you to get some positive feedback.
I got some positive feedback for you. If WWE keeps up this trash, it's going to draw people to watch AEW. So let's keep our fingers crossed.
What are you
for all of those guys over there?
What a part of this are you angry about?
All right,
you got our truth back. Jeez,
let's just kick it off with the AJ Styles and
Dominic Mysterio situation.
Yes, for the Intercontinental title. Great. That is a great look for the product. Great look for that mid-card title. Great look for both of those athletes involved. JD McDonough getting a breakout, let's just say, match on his own. That was a good look for the show last night. But then we move on to something we spoke about briefly earlier, Kairi Sane and Liv Morgan. Hey, prayers out to Liv Morgan. Nobody wants to see any of these
dislocated
athletes,
shoulder.
Get hurt. Nobody wants to see that. But
I thought it was an elbow.
I think
it's both. Actually,
we're waiting on a report right now via WWE, and their physician staff on the severity of her dislocated shoulder injury. This could last up to 16 weeks.
Yeah, I heard this morning it was past the women's deal and SummerSlam.
So now if it's that bad, we're looking at an imminent return for a huge pop for Liv Morgan via Royal Rumble sometime. But unfortunately, as I've stated, I believe that those women's tag team championships are cursed. Whoever holds them ends up in a world of crap. And
again,
it's just really not fair to the athletes to say that. But at the end of the day, we haven't seen anything done really with those women's tag team titles other than just be an eyepiece for the holder. Now, with that match, how it went, this is the second injury involving Kairi Sane, which is going to put some eyes on her to make sure she's working smoother and a lot safer with the people she has in the ring. These people that they are in the ring with each other, they are trusting their lives with the person they are across from. So we just hope a speedy recovery for her. Now, just to jump to another segment before we get to the main one, that was trash. Absolute hot garbage. Becky Lynch and Bayley. I'm sorry, bro. I don't know what you're watching, if we're watching the same thing, but I had no feeling, no connection, no interest to that. And a lot of opinions were similar to it, but a little bit more worse that I can't sit here and describe on air. I think the back and forth between them was dropped horrendously. They kept each other's promos alive, and that's great because, hey, they were looking at each other's scripts or whatever it is in the back. It just didn't work. It didn't feel smooth. It wasn't authentic. It translated on TV as crap. And for those two to be veterans, and I highly respect their work, I felt like, do they know what they're doing? Did somebody just give them last-minute script changes, or are they freestyling this? Did they get trusted to go out? Yeah, did they get trusted to just go out and wing it? Like, who the hell does that crap these days? When the product is at its most visually, recognizable, they're giving us some hot BS. Like, seriously, we've been spoon-fed some real good stuff. I ain't gonna lie, I've been spoiled. I've been sitting back, belly getting fat off the product, like, yes, give me more, Triple H. But no, I gotta say, I don't like that. That tasted like doo-doo. I don't know what real doo-doo tastes like, but critiquing doo-doo was not, something that I wanted to smell last night. I was like, I smelled The Rock cooking. It's absolute hot garbage.
It definitely looked like they were freestyling. They fumbled all over, but yeah, I think they definitely stretched that one. I'm not a big fan of Bayley, but I totally agree with that section. But I even thought the beginning of Raw,
it cooked. I'm gonna keep it. Wait. The fatal 4-way with the women.
Oh no, I'm talking about the beginning.
Oh yeah,
he's talking about the Dom and Liv promo.
Some of those segments, I don't know who's writing, but I see where the argument for Brian Gewirtz to be brought in becomes more valid with segments they put on like this.
Do you think it is that they are allowing these veterans like Bailey or Liv or them to kind of freestyle or kind of,
Yeah,
here's
trusted.
an outline, do your thing with it?
Yeah, no problem. Carlito even said that's kind of what's going on right now in one of his interviews with Busted Open Radio.
So maybe they pull it back.
Yeah,
go back to the writing.
Yeah, maybe they should just stick to the script a little bit more. Instead of, hey, why don't you just, go Bailey this up, or why don't you go Becky this up? They could F that up, because honestly, I don't know what is up right now.
Well,
Somebody ask R-Truth what's up. We can't because he's Ron Killings.
I say, and I did see that they're gonna keep continuing to call him R-Truth, even though he's going with his name. But
no, I don't. They'll switch it up as soon as the new intro.
This man is displaying clear signs of someone with disassociated personality disorder, and I'm all here for it. I'm here for it. I'm here for schizophrenic R-Truth.
I don't think it's schizophrenia. I think he's just he's taking it seriously. He's just like, you know what? I've been the joke character for long enough. He addressed it in the promo.
Yeah,
he's like, R-Truth is the funny one. R-Truth is my joke character.
How long until he starts talking to himself again, or he's going back and forth between R-Truth, or somebody finds it funny and creative to actually get him locked up and get a mental eval? We've seen this kind of stuff on WWE before in the past.
I totally
understand. More Vince, though.
Yeah, that's more Vince era stuff, and I don't think we're going back to that.
But I almost missed the old man, don't you?
No,
not at all.
No. Oh, yeah, it ain't that bad, folks.
Overall, I still think the Raw was good. I will agree with you though when it comes to the promos and the voice work. I was fast forwarding through some of that, but matches overall, I'm loving these 4-way matches, and like you said about JD, that was a hell of a match.
Yeah, they let them cook. They gave them the time to cook. Build up the women's PLE that is coming. I mean, the match with Asuka was awesome. And I'm not trying to sound like a geek or nothing, but I was really digging her face paint.
Yes.
Bro. Like every time she come back, is that right? I'm like, come on, that's going to sell more masks. Her merch is not a problem.
They're doing so well with the talent, because this is a couple matches in a row, especially with the women's division, where I'm almost rooting for everyone in the match.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care who wins, really. I'm liking them all.
It's really good to see that the focus on the women's division right now is kind of something that they're just not heavily pouring into us all of a sudden. They've been building towards this PLE for a while, 2 years, in fact, I believe, since the last all women's PLE.
I'm sorry. I don't know why I thought we were still on King and Queen of the Ring. Yes, Evolution. It's been at least 2 years.
Yeah. So with this being foreshadowed right now, while we have King and Queen of the Ring, is awesome to put all, like, Ivy now, a beast in the ring, bro.
Which I'm so happy they're finally giving her that push, because
beast.
For a long time she's kind of just been fading into the background of this women's division.
Yeah.
And with so many great wrestlers coming up like Stephanie and stuff like that, it kind of made you wonder if she was going to be able to stick around that long.
I hope she can hold a mid card at some point in her career. I don't know when, if at all it's going to happen, but she deserves it, rightfully so. She reminds me of a Natalya, very safe, highly skilled, and just incredible to watch with some of the moves she puts on display.
I almost thought she was going to pull that match out last night too.
Hey, seriously, I wouldn't be surprised if you see her upset one of our favorite or more established superstars in the future.
Eventually she's going to have to, because you have to build up American Made at some point.
I think they end up giving her a spot almost like Lash Legend picking up Otis or something like that.
Yeah, something to show off her strength.
Something phenomenal.
It's got to be Piper.
Yeah,
Piper is the only one that's like the same.
Give me some right there.
Of the same, like, she's the giant of the group. Like she plays the big person so well, and like she's one of those people that you just don't see get lifted very often
because she's a powerhouse.
Yeah,
bro.
So it's like if you show off her strength against someone like Piper, it would make her look so much better.
I think what we have to do, honestly, as fans, sometimes, we come in here. Well, I come in here, dialed up because I'm so ready to talk about the product or how we feel about it.
You feel better now, by the way? You notice how I kind of just gave you 10 minutes just to get it off your chest?
No.
They should push more of the Rhea and Raquel, because that's the one I'm really looking forward to.
That's coming very
soon.
And
then we still have waiting in the wings, Jordan Grace and others like her that are going to spend a little extra time in NXT just cooking before we get them on out there for everybody to consume
Well,
on this national.
I'm glad you brought up
international
the
product.
Rhea and Raquel thing, because now with the live injury, she's most likely not going to be a part of the Evolution PLE like everybody planned her to be, because they were definitely building a tag match with her and Raquel against Nikki Bella, and I was hoping her sister Brie, but I'm also now thinking that Rhea might have filled that other spot just to kind of give Nikki somebody to tag with. But I don't. What do you think the direction is now?
Okay. What I'm thinking about that direction right now has nothing to do with the women's division. Well, excuse me, the women involved in that storyline. What I'm thinking of, how great is this for Dominic Mysterio? Let me point something out. Spark, Chris, the last time Dominic Mysterio's girlfriend got hurt, it was Rhea Ripley. And then Liv Morgan came up. And now we have Roxanne Perez. This man is on an unbelievable streak of the hottest competitors having some type of storyline interaction with him. I'm sorry. What I see is the Freebird rule happening right now in the Judgment Day. We don't strip them of those women's tag team titles. We have Roxanne step up and say, Freebird rule. I'm going to defend these with Raquel. And boop, there we go. Dom's new main squeeze. Liv comes back after injury, beats her, and possibly kicks the crap out of Roxanne. Dumps Dom. Hey, we've got a self-made storyline ready to happen right now.
I totally get that, but more about the PLE side of it. Who's stepping into those roles?
Well, you know what? Honestly, I would have to give it more so towards, since we can't have Liv involved, just slide Roxanne in there, because if it's going to be something with the Bellas and relieving Roxanne and Liv, well, injured or not, off of those belts, it's going to make sense, because why not give the Bellas one last good run? Everybody's getting a run. Goldberg's getting one. R-Truth's getting one. Might as well get it out the way and then set up something new after this women's PLE for a tournament or whatever. We know the Bellas aren't going to stick around for long and defend those. If they do, that's cool, but nobody's trying to relive puberty.
Well, I don't know, dude, because from what they've been really showing us is that nostalgia is where they want to lean.
Nostalgia is one hell of a drug. You see how Hollywood is burnt out on it.
We're back in 2006. Rusev is back. John Cena has a championship. Nikki Bella is back, potentially. Her sister's back. I'd venture to say Triple H is literally capitalizing on nothing but nostalgia.
Well, you know what? If that's the case, can we bring back those Fruitopia vending machines we had in high school? Those were awesome. Because 2006, man, those things were everywhere, bro. I'm just saying.
I mean, those Fatal 4-Ways.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish we had more of those because those matches, especially the one you just brought up, the men's one last night, was fire.
My God. Okay.
And I find myself in the same situation. I'm like, I could see any of these guys pulling this win off. And how they ended Raw with pretty much half the roster coming out,
which was pretty cool. Honestly, the stare off between Jay and Cody, I could have done without, but I understand what part it plays in the story,
setting up SmackDown.
Exactly. So before we get to that, something I want to address here with you guys now. A lot of memes circulating with Gunther and Goldberg that are historically referencing things that just might be offensive. So let's not get caught up in all that.
No Third Reich, please.
Yeah, let's not do all those, SS jokes and, mocking the guy's face on World War II soldier uniforms and stuff. There's enough hate out there in the world. Like what this segment was. It brought enough hate out of me to tell you that I hate Oldberg.
Yeah, I'm not.
All the nostalgia, all the drip, all the aura that used to be this man is crap. Excuse me, I almost got caught up right now.
What's the nostalgia?
Bro, I mean, seriously.
It's going to sell tickets for that Saturday night's main event, and I'm glad that they put it on Saturday night's main event.
Thank you. And not a big time PLE because, dude, I feel for the guy. I feel it's all going to happen to us one day, but we got to know when to say no. We got to know when to stop. He's hurt himself all throughout his training. He could barely walk out there. He was limping. I was afraid when he was doing his warm-up, he was going to slip, fall, and bust cheeks again. I'm like, oh, God, here we go. He made it out to the ring. It seemed like he was gassed. He never has ever followed script on a promo in his entire career. What makes you think he's going to follow it now? Gunther did a great job of selling everything, selling the intimidation, selling the shock factor. I was just like, What stroke does this man have to be brought back to the WWE right now and take a spot from somebody who's earned that? And I'm not saying this about Jey Uso's run. I think it was cool. You know, everything has its time and all that. He'll get another shot and whatnot. But they could have done this before Gunther gave up the strap to Jey Uso. Maybe Goldberg wasn't ready. Who knows? I don't know. It's just my opinion. Really doesn't matter. But the fact that they put this trash on international television has me shocked, appalled, disgusted, disappointed, a whole bunch of things that I couldn't name right now. But at the end of the day, I sat back and I had to think, what was the purpose of this? Why would this can't just be for a retirement match. This is something else. And hopefully that inkling of a feeling that I have leads to something bigger that plays out in Gunther becoming a face or something like that. Because right now I'm confused as hell, Chris. All right.
That's good writing.
I'm confused as hell. Yeah, good writing.
That's good
because
writing.
It's got me frustrated up the wall.
Yeah, you can tell.
I'm like, who let this man?
Dude, people love Goldberg. That's why.
In Atlanta?
Yeah.
We ain't in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah, but guess where that
It's
PLE
all-
is?
it's a
I know
setup.
it's in Atlanta.
It's a setup.
I know.
Look, dude,
Hey, let's bring back
it's the
Deion Sanders.
business.
Let's bring back the mascot. Let's get the Dirty Bird out there for all.
He
Hell,
probably
let's
honestly
bring
will be
back
there.
Little John. Let's bring back Freaknik since we all doing nostalgia trips to Atlanta. Hell, you know what, y'all? I love you. I love you. But right now, I am not in love with this product.
It's
funny because last week you were in love with it.
I was.
Exactly.
I was. It was a complete
That
emotional
you know,
swing.
that makes WWE what they are now because
Yeah,
they're
because
getting that emotion
they
out of
can
you.
pull that out of you. And almost, I swear, I felt like Fred on the fourth floor yelling at the TV.
And you know what's funny too is that there's a lot of people on the internet that mimic this exact feeling, and the WWE could not. And not that they don't care about what you feel, but it's more.
That's
of
the
like,
point.
They want you to feel that way.
They're like,
That's
job
the
done.
point.
Job done
That's
well.
the craziest part
And
about it is they want you to
it
feel that way.
frustrates me to the point where I have to keep watching.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
what
the
it is.
sickest,
You're gonna
most
watch
toxic
it regardless.
relationship. It's like, hey,
You know
John
what's
Cena
funny?
wasn't lying. This is a toxic
This
relationship.
is the only product besides the NFL where you will sit there and complain up and down the board all year long about how you will not be watching the Super Bowl,
And
and
still
the
watch it.
only thing
And
you will be
watch it.
watching that Sunday is the
man,
Super
you
Bowl.
ain't lying. Preach.
I'm
Well,
just saying.
Before we go away from that, just looking at the brackets right now, Sammy is going to take on Orton and Cody
Against
against
Jay.
Uso.
Oh, God.
And do you believe that Uso is going to kind of lose
I
to
hope
Cody
Jay
and then go
wins.
to the
God,
team
I
up with
hope-
his brother again?
I hope Jay wins so bad.
Let me tell you something about Cordarius Lamar Rhodes.
Oh, geez.
Okay. That man is not losing a thing.
That's what I thought.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. If y'all don't
Cody
know,
Hogan?
Cody Rhodes is a hero
Cody
to
Hogan?
the urban community, to the wrestling community.
Cody
There are-
Hogan. Yeah.
Yes. Hey, Hogan's got a flex.
So it's going to be setting up
like
Cody
Becky
against
Hogan.
Orton.
yes.
Is that what you're saying?
That's the money match right there on the table.
Yeah.
Eventually, we were going
What
to get to
about
it.
Jay against Jim or Jay against Sammy?
Like I was
JB
saying,
Sammy would be sick.
like I was saying,
Yeah.
not
Really?
not to dismiss that, bro. But the money is on
The
the table.
bloodline? Really?
Yeah.
Getting disregarded right
A
now.
little bit right now, bro. You know what I mean? Hey,
Disrespect.
yeah, you
Do we
know?
all agree that's what is going to happen?
I think so.
Yeah, probably.
I think that would be the best thing for viewership, just to get a nice rating spike, and just to kind of either set up a future feud, which we know they have a long-standing history on each side between Cody and Randy. There's
There's a long history between Sammy and Jay.
but
And Sammy's on the bridge of
Yeah,
becoming a heel with Karrion Kross. What better way to do that than to beat Jay?
nah,
I
we
think if
don't
he
we don't need Jay taking
gonna
any more L's.
Keep saying it until it happens.
Look,
brother,
we don't need Jay taking any more L's because I don't want Rikishi calling and cussing us out like how he's been complaining about everything else that happens to his son.
Rikishi,
know?
feel free to call into the
You
show
know,
at any
hey,
point
you
in time.
can-
I
you
do
can.
not listen to this fool.
You can
Anytime
but
you
I'm
would
just
like to
saying,
call in.
I don't want to hear that. Oh, why
I
y'all
do.
talking about my boy? Y'all talking about my boy? Hey,
I'm backing your boy. I don't give a damn.
we backing him, but at the same time, he don't need to take no L's, and I don't want to see, Big Oos take an
You're
L.
you're saying he doesn't need to take an L,
He
yet he's
don't.
going to take an L to Cody.
I didn't say he wasn't gonna. I just said he didn't need to. You know what I'm saying?
But he's okay to
line it
take
up.
an L
That's
to Cody.
like Goldberg don't need to wrestle.
Oh.
Doesn't mean he's not gonna.
Whatever.
It's
Yeah,
the same thing.
agree
I
to
mean, we didn't
disagree.
need to see Hulk Hogan, but we got to see him.
Hey,
Yeah.
But
hey,
with the women's
Hogan got a flex.
side, Who's going to take that one? Or at least the championship of it?
For Queen of the Ring?
Yeah.
Ooh,
We got Roxanne and Jade.
I would hope Roxanne wins the whole thing.
Roxanne versus Jade is going to be an interesting match.
Yeah.
Though, that's
I'm
gonna be
worried
the
about
most
that.
Tom and Jerry match
Oh,
I've
my
ever
God.
seen.
Right.
But honestly, I think somehow, some way, they're gonna write it to where Jade gets over or Naomi interferes, and that's the way we skate Roxanne without either one of them taking a serious L. You know, the match will build this or that, and then that'll give legs to Naomi losing that money in the briefcase whenever she tries to cash in on whomever, wherever, because you went and messed with Jade, so Jade's got to get her lick back, blah, 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 blah.
And Bliss and Asuka.
Oh, God, I got to go with Asuka as much as I love Alexa. I got to, because they'll probably get her to the semifinal, you know.
Now with Liv injured, does that set up her
and Kyrie?
And taking on,
well, from what I understand,
taking
damage
on EO.
control's done.
Yeah, they're done.
Damage
they
control
slowly dissolved them behind the scenes. But
now I could see it with her and EO now, because now that whole promo with EO and Liv yesterday means zero.
Yeah. Hopefully this is just something like a 3-week sit-out situation. Nothing too serious. But with a dislocated shoulder, there's all kind of ligaments and joints and tendons. And it may, relocate. But hell, there's a lot of damage
back
in there.
Knowing wrestlers, though, dude, she could be back in 2 weeks.
Because they'll work through injury.
At least on the mic.
Yeah. Like she may not be gone. That's why I'm saying, like, the Roxanne Perez thing, I'm not sure if they're going to go that route, just because it may not be that long of a turnaround injury wise.
And of course they're going to scare everyone and, put the report out yesterday or last night, she's going to miss SummerSlam and boo. And I heard the same thing about, Bret Hart's going to, interfere in the Goldberg match. Like, what?
Hey, hold on. What?
That was the reports this morning.
If he came out and gave him a sharpshooter at the end of this, that'd be amazing.
What?
But no, hold on.
Uncle Brett? No.
Oh, you talking about nostalgia?
Yeah, hey, I wouldn't put it past WWE to throw a butt ton of money out there to Bret Hart and say, look, I know you hate me. Yes, Paul, I hate you.
This is probably the closest thing we'll ever get to Goldberg versus Bret again, though, because Gunther is the closest thing in the male roster to be that Bret Hart-esque wrestler.
Yeah, the technical guy that is very intense, the excellence of execution. I won't say he's the best there is, best there ever will be, because that would be infringement.
No, but that's basically what his character portrays.
Yeah, he is a technical genius when it comes to the ring, bro. I'm going to keep it real. The series he's had with Jey Uso over these past 18 months, especially that last one, we were excited about a freaking sleeper hold.
Yeah.
They were trading sleeper holds, man. Come on, dude. When was the last time any of us gave a crap about a rest hold? Thank you very much.
It's
your show. Go ahead, continue.
I'm not
because
we're like, if you want me to throw out some crazier stuff, I read this morning that the Cena thing is going to end because Bray Wyatt has him under control, and
I think they're going to factor that in at some point.
They need to. He's been stuck in
that
that
would be
alternate
awesome.
dimension.
Yeah, it's also a great way to revive the popularity around the Wyatt Six.
Yes,
because it has died tremendously since the Bo Dallas injury. They're back now on SmackDown, which is the same show that John's on. And honestly, for John to go down the entire major parts of his career like that, including maybe a wrestling match with Rusev one last time too,
that would be awesome.
It would be a pretty cool thing to see, in my opinion. I mean, the next one up is CM Punk in Saudi Arabia, which was a huge rivalry in his career. I know it's boring to some.
For me,
but
yeah.
You have 5 more months of John Cena. And honestly, what better way to wrap up his career than let him literally wrap up every storyline he's ever been a part of?
Yeah, I think that's the plan.
I think he's deserved it. He definitely
deserves it. And then what ended with the Rock?
Probably with either a match between him and Cody, where Cody takes the belt off of him, or something that revives the rivalry between him and Rock.
Well, all I can say is these next 3 weeks leading up to God, what do we have? Saturday night's main event. God, they're gonna be hell.
He's so pissed.
I am.
I'm loving it, dude.
No,
Dude,
see,
no,
here's the
I'm
thing.
so
Here's the
pissed
thing.
about this
Dude,
with
there's so
Goldberg.
much talent,
What
man.
is he really
You know I
gonna
love you.
do?
You know I
Like,
love you, but you hear me out on
Yeah,
this.
but this is
next week
so
he's
frustrating.
going to be in here
Yeah.
loving the
I
product
love it.
again.
I hope.
Oh, they turned it around. I
I
see
hope.
what they're going with
Uh-huh.
this.
I hope.
course.
It's
I really
just like
hope.
I love you, but that's just
Yeah.
how the industry works. That's why
Yeah, I
we
know.
talk about it.
Triple
on
H
the
I
is
know.
doing well, and
Yeah.
Exactly.
2
This
weeks
is what
ago,
I
he was
said
ready
2
to
weeks
fire
ago.
him.
Papa H, keep it up, man. Holla at your boy.
You still have yet to give me my apology to Papa H as well.
About what?
You know what we talked about last week.
yeah. Hey, I ain't apologizing for nothing. I stand on that. See,
oh,
But
gosh.
now it's okay.
I stand on
we
that.
had
That's
a
what I'm talking about.
we had a
That's what I'm talking
text
about.
in from a listener that's a wrestling fan said Bailey beats the man,
Oh yeah.
and Becky as a heel is annoying to me, like Seth freaking Rollins and his visionary.
She is running into the Becky Hogan thing that the internet has created for her. And I'm not digging it's disingenuous. Like we already know that's not how you are.
Mhm.
And it makes me feel like the character itself
I
isn't
just wish
authentic.
they were matches between good wrestlers. I'm just gonna say it because my opinion, but I didn't like
get a Lyra Valkyria.
I didn't like
out
the
of
Valerie
this,
one.
please.
And what is she just gonna disappear now?
It looks like she's being moved towards the back because
As she
Becky
should.
and Bailey have more star power.
Yeah.
Becky and Bailey,
experience.
when they get into a ring together, is gonna be.
It's gonna be a great match.
Ev-
Just
ev-
stop
eventually
with the
there's-
mics.
Yeah, eventually there's gonna be a 3-way with those guys
Stephanie.
in that part of for the title. I just think like Lyra and Becky somehow are gonna end up teaming up. I feel it, I see it. It's this is my idol, a real mother, this and that, and Becky's gonna try to talk some
the
some
heel
smack.
side
And
into
go
it.
heel.
She's gonna heal her up because honestly, Lyra is a powerhouse. She's super athletic. She's just still finding herself. She's not everybody's cup of tea. She wasn't mine at first, but the more they've kind of brought her out of that whole bird lady thing and just showed her to be like just a competitor, just a tough competitor in general. Like I think she can get over eventually. It's gonna take some time. It's not my bowl of soup, so to speak.
Look, man, all I'm saying is if she's going to be the next Becky Lynch, I need a lot more out of Lyra Valkyria.
That's a tall order to fill right there.
That's what they're trying to build her
Because
as.
honestly, Becky Lynch had a lot of organic things happen that I don't think could ever be recreated.
Look, brother, hear me out. Because I will be danged if I'm wrong about this, but if you really look at the roster that's been called up recently, especially Stephanie, Julia, Roxy,
Oh God,
they are building these women to be the next Bailey, Charlotte, Becky Lynch, all across the line. Tiffany's the next Charlotte Flair. Rhea's just her own entity. She's going to be Rhea Ripley for the rest of her life, but
She needs to get her title.
Lyra Valkyria is built up by Triple H to essentially be the next man. And if you are going to be the next man, I need to see a lot more out of you. That's
I
just
need
my
to see you
personal
get
opinion.
punched in the nose by Nia Jax and shrug it off,
Or somebody of the same caliber.
like that. Like I'm saying, organic moments. Like whoa,
That's why I can't wait to see this Jade Cargill Roxanne Perez match because that's going to be so much fun.
Hey, expect me to come in,
Tom and Jerry all day, but at the same time, I am expecting something cool to happen out of that. Just the Prodigy against the absolute prototype. It's incredible.
Oh my God. I think that might have a touch of the Drizzlings, but only because it's Jade. And Jade is still I'm gonna keep it real. Roxanne is truly a prodigy, bro. You like the way she moves in the ring is so fluid. She can adapt to anything. It's a shame how much WWE has invested in Jade Cargill, which I think more so just goes into the cosmetic, the look, whatever. I haven't seen enough of her on this product in ring for me to be a stone cold believer, yes, pun intended, that I would honestly get behind in the women's division. I think she has a great look. She's athletic, but how far can that go before people are just still sitting on their butts in those seats going, you know what? She can wrestle, but does she want to be here? And you can tell the people that want to be there that they love it. I feel like she's just using it as another platform to launch her career into something else, which isn't wrong, but at least lie to us about it a little bit. Have us believe.
I believe she wants to do that.
Have us believe that you actually
Kinda.
want to wrestle, and this just wasn't something you stumbled onto because hey, your husband's like a famous baseball player, whatever he is. You're a super fitness instructor, influencer before you got on with AEW, and I haven't seen your skill set grow since you left AEW. Keep it real. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Now, hey, look, it's the product, it's how she's presented. She can't just say, hey, put me on TV every week. But it seems like when they do, it's the same thing.
You know, it's funny you bring that up because I totally forgot she was married to Brandon Phillips.
There you go.
I totally forgot
she ain't worried about this WWE money.
No, but again, I think she's grown. She's just you could tell she's being mentored by Mark Henry, who, again, when you look at their movesets, are very
similar.
And honestly, Mark's moveset was never flashy. It was never something like that. It was just a big brute.
It's supposed to hurt.
Yeah. And honestly, I think she fits that profile very well. That's my personal opinion. But
who dropped the world's strongest slam last night in the middle of their? I forgot who it was. Oh, Bronson Reed.
Yeah,
it reminded me of Mark Henry because he did it so viciously that
it was Braun Breaker.
No,
he did one too.
He did one too.
Yeah, on the side of the ring.
Oh my God!
That definitely slam on the side of the ring.
That move is underrated as hell, man.
She's awesome.
Devil's Kiss or whatever she's calling it now.
That is awesome.
The internet's going crazy about it, but we've actually run out of time, my friend. We got to take a break and pay some bills.
Good, because I'll start
drink some water.
Yeah.
Go. Do a mantra or something.
Yeah,
okay. I need you back in your happy ways next week.
Man.
All right.
Hey, Papa H, you're doing a good job, man. Just stop playing with my emotions, bro.
He's doing a good job at the first 30 minutes of this episode or this segment.
They playing with my emotions. I did come here to play with y'all today. If you think I did, I'm out.
Oh, good Lord. We got to take a break real quick to pay some bills. This is the Early Bird Special on 101.1 FM, 1230 AM ESPN. Thank you.